That's the emergency joint I didn't fucking smoke yet. But it's coming. So I still don't know what Trudeau said, if anything, about this fucking airliner. Fuck. Glass. Shit everywhere. So we're gonna find out. I found out I didn't want to get into an argument with cashier again over something that's not really her fault. I did not know if there was sales tax on these, and there's not. And if there was, there would have been a fucking fist fight. So, except this time I had exact change, so I would have just said, "Oh, that would have given me an out." But it upsets me that there's sales tax on milk based on the size of the container. Either it should be taxed or not. Don't fucking tax the shit. It's milk. They want you to buy Coca-Cola and fucking bottled water. Don't buy that shit. I buy everything from Ontario. Look how beat up the can is, though. I dropped it about 3 fucking times. That's why I don't buy nothing in glass bottles. Well, generally speaking, those 40-ounce bottles don't break. You can drop them. They don't break. I don't know how, but they don't break. The fuck is on my finger, bro? Fuck. So I don't know how to find out what Trudeau said. I don't know how to find out if Trudeau said anything. Because all they'll play for us on here is 2-second sound clips if he did. And that's not going to interest me. Fucking hell. Oh yeah, I was looking up courthouse. Well, fuck it. I don't stand a chance in hell finding it that way right now.
As an alternate, it's busy, but a lot better than the 427, moving a lot faster, so that better off there. Now traveling southbound on the 427, a bunch up through the 401, not bad, then slow going approaching the ramp to the QEW. From the 680 traffic center, Kyle Hawking. Looking down 2 other northbound problems outside the 427. On the 400 northbound approaching Rutherford, the right lane and ramp lane are still blocked with a collision. Crews are here, and it is just jammed from approaching Shepherd up to approaching Rutherford. If you do want to try surface streets, not a bad idea. You can try Jane or Weston.
Dairy
Either one
Farmers
seems to be
of
in way better
Canada,
shape.
quality
And
milk.
then the 400,
Yeah.
although they both start to
believe
get
it.
busy as you approach Rutherford with traffic that's likely bailing off the highway and then getting stuck up towards that area. Also on the DVP northbound at Don Mills, we now have the right lane blocked off by Toronto Transportation right at the ramp to southbound Don Mills. That northbound Don Mills, and that's because there's a problem with the overhead sign, apparently, so they're blocking the right lane north DVP at Don Mills because of this, through this area heavy from Bloor to the 401. It's an exciting time in Vaughan. The bus rapid way on Bathurst and Center Streets is open for service. The red lanes are for Viva vehicles only, so drive with care. Visit vivanext.com for information.
I'm going to buy a Viva bus just to
621, and with the forecast, here's Denise Adriachi.
Well, overnight temperatures will start to climb. Today it was pretty cool. It's still chilly out there. -8 is the wind chill for most of the GTA. We've got the chance of some light showers, drizzly weather overnight, but it's through the day tomorrow that we'll see things a little more consistently unsettled. +8 for a high tomorrow with a big push of southwest winds, and we'll see about 10 millimeters of rain likely. But Saturday is when we get into the intense bands of heavy rain.
All right, there's 10 fucking sites that all have something
over to some
from
freezing
Trudeau.
rain and freezing drizzle for Saturday night. So we're keeping a close eye. The next couple of days are going to be very active here weather-wise for the GTA. Mostly cloudy, -3 now at Pearson. Your overnight low, +1.
SAB News Time, 6:13. That means it's time for the Scotia iTrade Market Minute. Let's go live to the Business Center and check in with Richard Southern.
The bearer of good news here today for those long in the market. We had record highs all around. TSX up 67. to 17,235. And how about the Dow Jones Industrial Average? Could see 29K on the Dow tomorrow. It was up just over 200 points today at 28,956. S&P up 21 points, the Nasdaq up 74. Traders turning their attention away from the Middle East towards the U.S.-China trade front. Positive news there in that China is sending its top negotiator to sign the Phase 1 trade deal in the States. Gold down $1,554. The loonie 76.58 cents U.S. This is 680 News.
Direct invest with Scotia iTrade. Get up to $1,500 cash and $6.99 pricing, or up to 500 free equity trades. Details at scotiaitrade.com/winter20.
The hottest show from Miami Beach is coming to Falls View Casino. Conga, live February 4th to 10th at Niagara Falls View Casino. With a huge cast of dancers and singers, plus a rock and salsa band, this full-scale production weaves its way through some of the greatest dance hits of all time. Visit FallsViewCasinoResort.com for tickets. Conga, live February 4th to 10th at Niagara Falls View Casino.
This is your Air Transat flight attendant announcing
The sale of the decade.
Okay, the decade is only a few days old, but our European seat sale has fares to London.
Yeah, but we're Canada. We know we're going to be the best.
$659.
Just give us the award
Sale
now.
of the decade ends January 22nd. So book now and start shopping for
Travel size toothpaste.
Go to airtransat.com or call your travel agent. Conditions apply.
Air Transat. Vacation is calling.
This is All News Radio, 680 News.
We got mostly cloudy sky in downtown Toronto, -2, feeling like -8. Good evening from the 680 News Broadcast Center. I'm Scott Burnett.
And I'm Laura Carney. Here are the top stories this hour.
Canadians want answers in an address this afternoon. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau saying intel points to an Iranian surface-to-air missile that brought down a Ukrainian Airlines flight over Toronto on Tuesday, killing 63 Canadians, and that it may have been unintentional. Video surfacing online, being made credible by several news agencies. You can see those videos of the plane being hit at 680news.com. Vigils taking place as well this evening to remember the lives lost in the crash, including one at Melaskin Square with Mayor John Tory. And the province's public elementary school
Not
teachers
John Tory Square, is it?
action unless the Fort government can bring something new to the table. Starting next week, teachers will no longer supervise extracurriculars or take part in field trips with the elevated strengths starting Monday, January 20th.
Time now for 680 Sports.
From Sports at 5:09, Alex Mateo.
All right, Scott, Maple Leafs holding their annual outdoor skate at Nathan Phillips Square today always brings a smile to the face of Mitch Marner.
I think everyone enjoys it. I mean, we're grateful for how many fans come to these events and how many fans we get to interact with. So we have a lot of fun with it. We're enjoying it. Moments like these we always enjoy and take it for the most.
And Team East wound up winning the 3-on-3 tournament. Leafs in Florida Sunday. To tennis right now, quarterfinals of the ATP Cup tournament. Canada taking on Serbia. Felix Auger-Aliassime and Dusan Lajovic about to get their first set underway. That'll be followed by Denis Shapovalov against Novak Djokovic. Breaking news from the NBA. Sixers big man Joel Embiid is going to have surgery tomorrow on a torn ligament in his left hand.
This is going to be one big pile of shit.
Reevaluated in 1 to 2 weeks. Raptors will host DeMar and the Spurs on Sunday. And right now in Hawaii, it is round 1 of the Sony Open. Colin Morikawa at -5 has a 3-shot lead. Corey Connors and Nick Taylor are sitting 4 back at -1. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime on the home of Tim and Sid, now on TV and radio. Sportsnet 590 The Fan.
680 News Time, 618.
When it comes to building brand awareness, Nick DiDonato,
We got a penny out of me,
CEO of Liberty Entertainment
but
Group,
I did not pay
advertises on
sales
680
tax.
News to help spread the word.
Liberty Entertainment Group runs multiple
Nor did I
restaurants and
purchase a
entertainment venues
plastic
throughout
bag.
Toronto. When we were awarded the Gambler Rosso Best Restaurant Opening in the World for Don Alfonso 1890, it was big international news. And what better way to get the news out to Toronto than going to 680 News?
And the marketing experts at 680 News are always on hand for
So
professional
I'm not going to
guidance.
read that. I'm hoping they play the soundbite because I'm not going to say it the same way he said it. You got to hear this man speak. He's a drama teacher.
Don Alfonso had arrived in Toronto. Our marketing campaign on 680 News
With a 30 minutes plus late, that he knows what he's doing.
Consistency on message and frequency. So being on 680 News for a long period of time, delivering the message of our Michelin chef at Don Alfonso really worked.
Anybody could have the Iranian sweating. It's Trudeau right now by pure fluke that they shot down the wrong fucking plane. Don't shoot down a Canadian. Canadian fucking
Mainly a bit
plane
of
full of
practice,
Canadians.
but for many kids and fans, being able to catch the Toronto Maple Leafs for free and in the great outdoors is a dream come true. The Buds taking to the rink at Nathan Phillips Square this afternoon. 680's Momin Qureshi was there talking to excited fans who were checking out their favorite players.
Leaf tickets are expensive and hard to get, so for thousands of diehard fans,
No,
this is
no,
their one
they're
chance
expensive,
to see their
and then you
favorites
can
up
get
close.
them.
You're so close to the players, you're right in the play, you feel like you're getting to know them. It's an amazing day.
Lucy and her 3 kids ditched school to be here, though she eventually confessed to having ulterior motives.
If not, I was going to be here by myself, so I prefer to be with them.
Oh, so you wanted to come anyway? The kids are just an excuse.
Yeah.
Leafs forward Mitch Marner says the team loves it.
We're grateful for how many fans come to these events and how many fans we get to interact with. So we have a lot of fun with it. We enjoy it. Moments like these we always enjoy and take it to the most.
At Nathan Phillips Square, I'm Momin Qureshi.
Up in 60 seconds, traffic and your extended forecast at 680 News Time 620.
New York, New York. The city is so nice they named it twice. But they should have named it 5 times for all its 5 boroughs. Manhattan, Queens, Staten Island, the Bronx, and Brooklyn. Explore all 5. So much to see with so many non-stop flights a day on Porter Airlines. Just name your time and book at flyporter.com/NY. Porter, flying refined.
Eat well, live better. Hi, I'm Miranda Malasani, spokesperson
I'm
at
working on
Nature's Emporium. 100% certified organic produce, fresh made meals daily, and smart options down every aisle. From nutrient-dense to allergy-friendly to eco-conscious. Nature's Emporium is home to Giuseppe's Juice Bar and Bistro. Plus, we offer clean cosmetics, York and Halton region's largest selection of nutraceuticals, and a team of health professionals in all 4 locations. Visit today, naturesemporium.com.
621, time for traffic and weather together on the ones brought to you by Mark Feldstein and Associates in Chopper 680 Jordan Kerr.
I'm flying over the 400 right now, and northbound on the 400, approaching Rutherford. The right lane and ramp lane still blocked, all because of crash cleanup. A number of emergency crews are on scene. Northbound 400, it's jammed from north of the 401 to approaching Rutherford because of this issue. Very slow going. Looking at alternates right now, you take Jane or Weston, both are moving faster, but both are getting very heavy, especially anywhere north of Highway 7 up towards Major Mackenzie. Both Jane and Weston getting very busy right now, but again, it's looking a lot better than the northbound 400 at this time. From the 680, and we're just getting word of a new issue on the southbound 400. This is a Mapleview. As you come out of Barrie, 2 right lanes are blocked there because of a crash. Again, a new issue southbound on the 400, south of Mapleview, 2 right lanes blocked to the crash. It's jamming up from Mapleview to south of it. From the 680 traffic center, Kyle Hawking. A couple of other northbound problems. Northbound DVP at Don Mills. Thankfully, that maintenance didn't last long. Crews there have cleared away, so the DVP just dealing with volume approaching Bloor to the 401, and then 404 delays Steeles to north of 16th Avenue. 427 north, still problems on the right shoulder as you approach the 407. It's a narrow shoulder, collision cleanup there, and it is very heavy from the 409 right up to the 407 as you travel north on the 427. 401 volume, just in one long stretch on the eastbound side. It's busy 427 to Victoria Park Express and to Kennedy Collectors, not bad elsewhere. Westbound 401 a little bit patchier from Keele, alternately Express and Collectors to Dixon. West of the 410 Express and Collectors to west to Mavis and through Trafalgar. Off the highways, new collision eastbound on Highway 7 at Yonge Street. Traffic spotter letting me know 2 right lanes blocked for the crash. Jamming up now from east to Bathurst. We do have a tow truck on scene there. It's an exciting time in Vaughan. The Bus Rapid Way on Bathurst and Center Streets is open for service. The red lanes are for Viva vehicles only, so drive with care. Visit vivanext.com for information. Your next report at 6:31, and with the extended forecast, here's Denise Andriachi.
Well, wind chill -8 for most of the GTA right now. Winds gusting up to 30 kilometers an hour out of the southeast. We're going to see a shift in wind direction and a push of milder air in the coming days with very heavy rain and wind expected. Through the day tomorrow, the rain and drizzle begin about 10 millimeters and highs near 8 degrees. Temperatures don't really budge all that much either Friday night and into Saturday, near about 6 to 8 degrees for a high. Heavy rain, changing over to some freezing precipitation for Saturday night. Right now it's -3 and mostly cloudy at Pearson. Your overnight low is +1.
Coming up at 6:30, video surfacing online showing the moment a Ukrainian Airlines flight was struck by an Iranian anti-aircraft missile. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau promising Canadians his government will be working closely with investigators to find answers. This has vigils for the 63 Canadians lost in that crash are taking place this
This
evening.
is getting
In
fucking
North York,
interesting.
details on these stories and much more straight ahead.
680 News Time, 624.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. Want some free money? Transfer an RRSP or TFSA to Meridian before March 2nd, and you can get a 1% cash bonus. Real, genuine, free money. Visit meridiancu.ca to learn more. Terms and conditions apply.
At 680 News, we know weather.
And we guarantee it.
If we're off by more than 3 degrees, we'll announce a lucky winner of our growing cash jackpot.
Now, get more chances to win each month and vacation better with Sunwing.
Enter in January for your chance to win an all
Can't be shooting down fucking passenger jets, man.
Dallas, Cabos, and Lucas in Mexico.
Enjoy beautiful coastal views,
That's
multiple
not
swimming
gonna
bars,
fly
and
in the
access to
world,
themed parties at the neighboring Rio Resort.
Enter the 680 News weather guarantee with Sunwing
And Rio Hotels and Resorts.
at 680news.com.
This new segment brought to you by the Herzig Eye Institute. Friends, family, and likely people who have never even met her will gather at an Etobicoke funeral home today and tomorrow to pay tribute to Diane Ford, the mother of the Premier Doug Ford, dying over the weekend at the age of 85. One visitation took place earlier today, another planned for 6 o'clock until 9 this evening at the Nieuweduck Funeral Home, Kipling Chapel. The funeral starts at 10 Saturday morning at the Toronto Congress Centre. In 60 seconds, we'll see what Richard Southern has to say at the Business Centre.
680 News Time, 625. Why did I wait so long? Our patients tell us that all the time at the Herzig Eye Institute. I'm Sherry Tabb, co-founder of the Herzig Eye Institute. And Dr. Herzig and I want to ask you, why have you waited so long? You could finally be free from glasses, contacts, even reading glasses. Google high-definition vision. Learn about Herzig. Call us for a consultation. There's no charge. Afterwards, you'll say, why did I wait
Well,
so
half of
long?
the fucking stories are about
Look
this
after
plane
yourself. Promise me.
Every day, Canadians are buying homes and getting the wrong mortgage rates. Important announcement. If you have a mortgage closing in the next 60 days, 2.38% 5-year fixed mortgage rates are available at butlermortgage.ca. No matter what you were told or what you signed, you can still switch to 2.38% 5-year fixed. No gimmicks, no fees. Standard mortgages at 2.38% 5-year fixed. To learn if you qualify, go to butlermortgage.ca now.
License number 12118, high ratio fixed rate, APR 2.39%.
680 News Time, 626.
Now the business report is Richard Southern.
Hey, Scott, we did see some market reaction to, the big news of the day, our top story here on 680 News, that being the new information regarding the plane crash in Iran. Prime Minister Trudeau confirming that Canada has intelligence showing that it was shot down using a surface-to-air missile. Financial market reaction to that reflected in Boeing stock, which was up 1.5%, closing about $336. The plane involved in the tragic crash was a Boeing 737NG, and thinking yesterday was that it may have been a mechanical problem, another issue on a long list of issues that Boeing's been dealing with lately. So investors sold the plane maker yesterday, bought the stock today. The broader markets were actually hitting records today. We did have a strong performance overall for equities. The TSX up 67 points, all-time high at 17,235. Canada stocks among the top winners today. We had shares in Hexo up 6.5% at $1.94. Clothing retailer Aritzia delivered strong financial results. That stock up almost 17% at $24. Interesting trade on Wall Street. The bulls just unrelenting there. The Dow up 211 points, 28,956. No stopping Apple. Shares of the tech giant hitting another record high, closing just shy of $310 per share. Apple's up just 105% over the past 12 months. No biggie. $3 trillion company almost. It reported some very robust holiday sales numbers, so no stopping Apple. Again, a record for that particular stock. S&P 500 up 21 points, the NASDAQ up 74. Price for gold down almost $4 to $1,554. Canadian dollar lower, 76.58 cents US. And your top stories, including the latest on that Iranian plane crash, just 60 seconds away on 680 News.
When businesses join forces with 680 News, it's the start of a beautiful friendship.
Hey, it's Sam from Best Brand Appliance. We are one of the largest premier appliance distributors in all of Canada for both retail and wholesale.
How long have you been advertising with 680?
We've been with 680 for about 4 or 5 years now. Business is fantastic thanks to 680. It's doing unbelievable.
How do you like working with your account manager at 680 News?
Dan's the man. He gives us some great creative ideas. Everyone that we've worked with so far, 680, has been unbelievable.
What type of response has Best Brand Appliance received from 680 News?
We got such a great response, and the foot traffic was huge. Our website traffic, once we started on 680, went up by 34%.
How is 680 News?
Ontario sets official end date of July 1st for red and white health cards. And if you don't know what we're talking about, don't worry about it. Hundreds of thousands of Ontarians will soon have to say goodbye for good to their old red and white health cards. Can you say boondoggle? The Canadian press has learned the government has set July 1st as the date the cards will no longer be accepted. It comes more than 25 years after the province first announced those cards would be phased out. There are still about 300,000 red and white health cards in circulation, representing about 2% of all Ontario health cards. Health Minister Christine Elliott said those cards are more susceptible to fraud than the newer cards, which feature a photo and a signature. Yeah, the doctors aren't committing any fraud whatsoever, right? She says people who still have the old health cards will get notices this month, and after that, they will get monthly reminders to get a new card. That's a good expenditure. Quote, after July 1st, the card will not be accepted for services, Elliott said in an interview. Hospitals, if someone attends with an emergency where they need medical attention right away, of course they won't be denied care, but they will be receiving the hospital bill for those services. Well, not if you don't bring no ID with me. Anyone who has to pay upfront for doctor's office or hospital services will be reimbursed once they get a new health card, Elliott said. So what the fuck's the difference? Photo health cards can be obtained for free at Service Ontario locations. The province is also going to ask doctors' offices, hospitals, and pharmacists to remind anyone using a red and white health card about the imminent need to switch to a new one. It was late 1994 when the then NDP government announced that due to fraud and misuse, the cards, which were introduced just 4 years prior, would be phased out over 3 years. It's been 25 years. When the photo ID cards were first announced in 1995, the government estimated the red and white cards were being used for $65 million in fraudulent claims a year. At the time, Ontario's health cards had the least amount of printed information of any province, including only a name and no expiry date, according to a 2006 Auditor General report. So yeah, 10, 12 years later, they're doing an Auditor General report. There were about 300,000 more health cards in circulation than there were people in Ontario, the auditor said. In the years before the photo ID cards were introduced, health officials warned that some cards had fallen into the hands of Americans and other non-residents, with fraudulent use the most prevalent in Ontario's border communities. So whatever you do, don't look American and don't use that card near the border, and you should be okay. Until Canada Day.
As well on the westbound 403 in Hamilton.
This government's always going to secure everything and fix everything. We got something new. Don't worry, we'll fix that old thing.
Get the latest news affecting our community every
fix
night
this
on
new
City
thing
News at
too.
6 and 11. Only
When
on
that
City
doesn't
TV.
work, we're going to
Good
bill
news
you
report at
$100
6:41,
billion
and with
fucking
the
dollars.
forecast, here's Denise Andriacci.
Well, right now at Pearson, it's mostly cloudy and -3. We have a wind chill of -8. It was a cold day today, but temperatures on the rise through the overnight.
Right,
We
now,
could see a bit of
fuck
showers
you.
and drizzly weather before we get into more steady rain through the day tomorrow. Strong winds, very mild on Friday, near +8 through the entire day, with the rain and drizzle continuing Friday night and intensifying through the day on Saturday. Your overnight low tonight, +1.
680 News Time, 6:33.
Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says there is evidence that a missile shot down the Ukraine Airlines Flight which crashed in Iran yesterday, killing all
wanna hear him say
176
it,
people
damn
on
it.
board, including at least 63 Canadians.
680's Parliament Hill reporter
Mr.
Cormac
Drama
McSweeney
teacher,
joins us with more on what the
enunciate,
Prime Minister had to say.
elucidate,
In an address
and
to the
inform us,
nation,
and
Prime Minister
conversate.
Justin Trudeau confirms that intelligence gathered by our allies and our own agencies indicates an Iranian surface-to-air missile is responsible for downing this flight.
This may well have been unintentional. This new information reinforces the need for a thorough investigation.
The Prime Minister refuses to elaborate on the evidence that they have and won't speculate on the intention behind this. Trudeau was asked if this is being considered an act of war.
Too early to draw definitive conclusions like that one.
Consular officials and investigators are en route to Iran. However, there isn't final approval yet for their entry into the country. While the Prime Minister is demanding a Canadian presence in the crash probe, he won't say what may happen if Iranian authorities are uncooperative.
Those are our conversations and steps we will contemplate as things move forward.
Trudeau didn't say if the U.S. should share the blame, since Iran had been launching missiles at bases in Iraq after the Americans assassinated an Iranian military commander. Cormac McSweeney, Parliament Hill.
Happening now
That's
in
all
North
they
York,
got,
two
man.
vigils now underway honoring those who died in the plane crash. 680's Mark Douglas joins us live from Mel Lastman Square with more. Mark.
Well, Laura, with the revelation from the Prime Minister that the plane appears to have been shot down, grief is certainly mixing with anger for those who came out to the vigils this evening to honor the dead.
It is very heartbreaking to see the lost life. I think everybody is sad. That is not accepted. But I will pray for them, and I wish the best.
I wouldn't waste artillery on an airliner
Tory spoke at the
because
first
they
of these
fall out
two
of the
vigils
sky all the
outdoors in
fucking
Mel
time
Lastman
as
Square,
it is.
where the fountain is
Why
surrounded by
would you want
candles
those
and flowers.
international
Tory
headaches?
is asking the people of Toronto to
Political
rally
headaches.
around
Why
the
would you
families
want
and the
that?
loved ones of those who were killed in the crash.
And I hope we support them. And we support them in a time that is going to be a very trying time for them, because they will need that support. They deserve that support. They're good people who are helping us to build a great community here in the most diverse city in the world.
And they produce
Say
babes.
about 400 people have come out and are braving this bitterly cold wind tonight to show just that kind of support. A second indoor vigil getting underway right now beside this one inside the North York Civic Centre. That one is organized by the Iranian Canadian Congress. Reporting live in Mel Lastman Square, I'm Mark Douglas.
Meantime, several dramatic videos surfacing online of the moment the plane was hit have been confirmed as credible by multiple news agencies. 680's Stuart McGinn joins us live with more. Stuart.
Yes, got an array of videos showing the two key moments for the doomed Ukrainian Airlines flight. First, footage verified by the New York Times shows a missile hitting the plane, echoing a loud boom in Tehran, and another video puts the final pieces together. It shows the flight actually turning around back toward the airport while flashing red like a ball of fire in the sky before tragically making its way to the ground and crashing, forming waves of smoke and fire. CNN's Jim Sciutto reminding us the timing of all this.
Just 4 hours earlier, Iran had launched missile strikes on U.S. troops in Iraq. And with tensions between the two nations heightened to such a degree, Iran may have made a deadly mistake.
As some believe they couldn't be misidentified, they could have misidentified the aircraft. Others are asking important questions like, why was this flight traveling through Iranian airspace, especially after several FAA had banned American flights from doing just that. Reporting live, Stuart McGinn, 680 News.
680 News Time, 6:37. Public elementary teachers in the province are stepping up their job action. 680's Lucas Casaletto reports.
As of Monday, public elementary teachers will be boycotting extracurriculars and field trips. Union President Sam Hammond says that very little progress has been made.
We need to get serious. The government needs
You
to
know,
get
acting
serious
mature,
about
but I don't
the process that's
fucking pretend
happening
I'm here to fucking raise
Regardless of what
kids
this
and teach
Minister of
kids
Education
anything.
says, that they're being reasonable at the table. That is absolutely not true.
The following Monday, January 20th, they'll begin rotating walkouts. They've been staging an administrative work to rule campaign since November. I'm Lucas Casaletto.
Meantime, contract talks between the Ontario English Catholic Teachers Association and the province have fallen apart not long after getting started today. OECTA saying it is going ahead with plans to kick off an administrative work to rule campaign on Monday. The union accuses the Ford government of inaction, while Education Minister Stephen Lecce
The
calls
question
on
I
the
have
union
is, are
to
the
stay at
parents
the
allowed to
table and
fucking
cease
organize
from
field
escalating
trips?
the job action.
Was that
680 News
forbidden?
Time, 6:38. A great day for fans of the blue and white, with the Maple Leafs taking their practice to Nathan Phillips Square.
Shivering and bundled up with their finest sleeves, toques, gloves, and sweaters, thousands of Leaf fans packed tightly around the rink here at Nathan Phillips Square for a chance to see their hockey heroes up close as the team held its annual outdoor practice.
It's amazing. Like, it's hard to get tickets, so it's amazing to be able to watch them for free. Oh, yeah. I mean, who isn't enjoying this? I think it's great to get everyone involved, get all the girls to watch hockey and play a good game.
That's a very hockey-style comment you just gave me.
Yes, I know. I get it from my dad.
The team rode the subway to get here, which Captain John Tavares says was an interesting experience.
I've been
You
on the
did every
subway
game.
a little while, so it was
Fucking
good. Just
impressive,
everyone
man.
kind of being a little bit surprised with us kind of coming on.
At Nathan Phillips Square, I'm Omen Qureshi.
Coming up at 6:41, traffic and weather together on the ones.
680 news time, 6:39.
Julie?
They all pay $6 for a Presto card too.
No, I'm a professional dream coach. Say, how would your Friday night change if you won Friday's Lotto Max jackpot of an estimated $33 million?
I plan a little getaway.
Little?
Okay, a huge getaway. I'll travel the world, learning dances like the samba, the can-can, ooh, even break dancing.
Yes, the world is your dance floor. Friday's Lotto Max jackpot is an estimated $33 million. With draws Tuesdays and Fridays, you can dream to the max.
City streets emergency crews are heading to a crash at Shepherd and Kennedy. Expect lane restrictions at that intersection. And westbound Finch and Signet, the right lane is blocked with a stalled bus. It is slow from the 400. Now, the 680 News gas price update. Empro predicts the price of gas will drop 3 cents at midnight to $1.15.9 a liter at most GTA stations.
680 news time, 640.
I'm Scott McGilvery. Selling a home can be complicated. In Toronto, I trust Frank Leo to get you top dollar. With Frank's guarantee, if he can't sell your house at a price and deadline you agree to, he'll buy it. Go to getleo.com today. That's getleo.com and start packing.
Hi, I'm Drew Green, CEO of Indochino. We think made-to-measure clothing in the highest quality fabric should be affordable for everyone. We've transformed everything about the custom clothing experience to be able to bring you the luxury of custom-tailored suits, coats, and shirts at impressively fair prices. And right now, get an extra $30 off when you spend over $400 with code NEWS at Indochino.com or any Indochino showroom. Indochino, made to measure, made affordable.
If you want the most money for your home in Toronto, I trust the #1 RE/MAX agent in the world, Frank Leo, and his home sale guarantee. I'm Scott McGilvery. Selling a home doesn't have to be complicated. Go to getleo.com today. That's getleo.com and start packing.
680 news time, 641.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Brought to you by Shoppers Drug Mart up in Shopper 680. Jordan Kerr.
Well, just over a mess at Highway 7 in Yonge. So eastbound Highway 7 at Yonge, the two right lanes are blocked with a crash. Police are on scene. There are two vehicles here. Tow trucks that were here are gone. It looks like a pretty minor crash, but the backup is horrendous. Eastbound 7 is jammed solid.
You wanna pay? Fine.
Barely moving to Yonge. Now, usually I'd say punch up and take an alternate, but just northwest of there at Bathurst, where you'd be jumping off, we have issues. At Bathurst and Rutherford and Carlisle, we have the traffic lights malfunctioning. Police are on point duty. So northbound Bathurst is already jammed from Highway 7 up to Carville, which would be your alternate. So that's horrible. Luckily, Carville itself,
it's
east
so
of Bathurst,
horrible.
is open.
It's so emotive with the traffic here.
Closed, but
I
it's
love it.
definitely
I love
open.
it.
Cars have been driving through there throughout the day. Construction through there has wrapped up. So unfortunately, this whole area is paralyzed because of this crash at 7 and Yonge, and because of traffic lights out at Bathurst and Carville. From the 680 Traffic Center, Kyle Hawking.
The problems on the 400 have now cleared. Northbound 400 approaching Rutherford, all lanes reopened, but still delays Shepherd up to Rutherford. And southbound 400 leaving the Barrie area south of Mapleview. Crash cleared off the highway. It's still slow from Mapleview to south of it, but getting back up to speed quickly. On the 410 northbound, things escalating here. Northbound 410 north of the 407. 3 left lanes now blocked with a collision. So jams up as you approach the 407 to north of it, and then more volume steals up towards Williams Parkway. If you're traveling along westbound on the 403, approaching Huron, Ontario, looks like that issue we had was a brief one. It's already cleared away. Busy, though, approaching Eglinton in the collectors to west of Huron, Ontario, and then it's not bad beyond that point. Get the latest news affecting our country every night. Oh, make that. Got PC Optimum points? Get ready to redeem them. It's the bonus redemption event at Shoppers Drug Mart. Get more for your points January 10th to the 12th. Your next report at 6:40 at 6:51, and with the forecast, here's Denise Andriachi.
Oh, wind chill still in full effect here in the GTA. It's a rather chilly evening, but temperatures are on the rise ahead of this messy system that we've been talking about for a few days now. Environment Canada issued weather statements yesterday ahead of this weekend active weather that we're expecting. That's just how intense this storm system is going to be, and out of the ordinary, not just because it's rain instead of snow, but it's a lot of rain, a month's worth of rain for parts of the GTA in just a day or so. Periods of drizzle and showers begin on Friday near 10 millimeters up to 8 degrees, and then Saturday, very heavy rain and strong gusty winds near 6 degrees before changing over to some freezing precipitation. Right now at Pearson, it's -3 and mostly cloudy. Your overnight low +1.
680 News Time, 6:43.
Well, we really hit peak TV in 2019.
If you feel overwhelmed by the number of shows on TV, there's a good reason.
There were 532 scripted drama, comedy, and limited series last year.
John Landgraf, the chairman of FX Networks and also the
you
unofficial
fucking
keeper of such
serious?
stats, revealed at the Television Critics Association Winter Press Tour that in 2019, the number of shows topped 500 for the first time.
7% gain versus 2018.
Which is great or terrifying, depending on how you look at it.
To me, it's just bananas.
In the coming months, 2 big new streaming services are set to launch with HBO Max and NBC Universal's Peacock. So if your New Year's resolution is to watch less TV, good luck. Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Hollywood.
680 News Time, 6:44.
Catch all the excitement of your favorite slots and table games at Casino Woodbine. Sign up for a free One Rewards membership today, and you could be eligible to get your first $250 on us. Need a lift? We've added new Toronto shuttle bus routes that will take you right to our front doors.
I don't give
Must
a
be
fuck.
19 plus. Rewards membership
The rest you
required.
shoot me, I don't care. I'm not. I'm fucking
Casino
sick, bro.
Woodbine. Toronto's home for gaming and
Everybody wants to have hardcore. They're gonna make me do this and that. Fuck you. I can't even stand up. You're gonna make me do what?
A diabolical serial killer known only as the Bone Collector, a master criminal who has evaded justice. Based
Oh,
on
pain is a great motivator. Motherfucker, I got the worst pain condition. It don't motivate me to do shit. And you can't scare me. Oh, I'm gonna hurt you. Oh, okay, let's see, buddy.
For the Bone Collector. It all starts Friday.
People look at me strange because I'll get punched straight in the face and not. I know that's when you're supposed to start fighting, right? Like,
Mostly cloudy and
I just sort of shake it off. It looks strange, I guess, to other people, but you can't hurt me like that.
Scott Burnett here. The top stories this hour.
Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says they have intelligence from multiple sources that the Ukraine International Airlines flight that crashed near Tehran on Wednesday was shot down by an Iranian surface missile. Trudeau says the strike may
said
have
there
been
was going to be
unintentional
conspiracy
and
theory
says
videos coming out on
the
this
need for
shit.
thorough investigation. At least
I just wasn't
63 of the
expecting it to be this
176 killed in the crash were Canadian. And a number of the Canadian victims have ties to the GTA. Two
No.
vigils are taking place this evening in
Yeah.
North York to pay tribute to the victims, including one at Nell Lastman Square.
Time for 680 Sports.
And from Sportsnet 590 The Fan, here's Alex Cicero.
Okay, Laura, we'll start with some baseball news. John Heyman reporting the Blue Jays have avoided arbitration with Brandon Drury, and he will make just north of $2 million next season. The Jays now have 2 ARB cases to resolve: Matt Shoemaker and Ken Giles. Ken Rosenthal reporting that
That's
the
why I
Rays and the
don't buy
Cardinals are about to pull the trigger
baseball
on,
hats and
quote,
jerseys
a
and
big
shit.
trade involving 6 pieces, 3 per team. Left-handed pitching prospect Matt Liberatore is expected to be among those going from Tampa Bay to St. Louis. It sounds like the Rays are getting an outfielder in return, possibly Harrison Bader, maybe Canadian Tyler O'Neill. Getting ready for an 11-game sked in the National Hockey League tonight includes Edmonton in Montreal. Leafs will be in Florida Sunday. Right now at the ATP Cup quarterfinals, Canada and Serbia match 1. In the first set, Dusan Lajovic up a break, leading Felix Auger-Aliassime 4-2. 76ers center Joel Embiid will undergo surgery tomorrow for a torn ligament in his left hand. He'll be reevaluated in 1 to 2 weeks. And MLS Super Draft today. Cool news for Niall Higgins, the center back from Ajax, was taken in the first round by Toronto FC. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime on the home of Tim and Sid, now on TV and radio, Sportsnet 590 The Fan.
680 News Time, 647.
Smaller businesses can't keep up with the big guys with help from 680 News.
My name is Steve Forberg, and I'm the CEO of Decorium. Decorium is a
I don't know how
retail
to take
furniture
that.
showroom. My family's been in the furniture business for over 3 generations now. The only station that we're on the radio with is 680 News.
How has 680 News helped you achieve your advertising goals?
Well, our advertising goal is to reach, obviously, as many of our demographic as we possibly can. And with 680 News, that gives us the ability to get a greater reach out there in the marketplace over some other mainstream medias.
What type of response has Decorium had from 680 News listeners?
When we get on 680 News and our spots hit the air, our phone starts ringing. We can see an uptick in our in-store traffic, and it really creates the awareness that we're looking for.
Would you recommend 680 News to others?
I would absolutely recommend advertising on 680 News to other businesses. Our feeling is if you're going to be on the radio, you might as well be with the best station.
Get 680 News working for you. Call 680 News Advertising at 416-935-NEWS.
680 News Time, 6:48. Italy is taking drastic measures to reduce a dangerous spike in urban pollution.
With the air quality index showing Italy to be one of the most polluted places in Western Europe, more than a dozen towns and cities here have limited traffic to try to cut back on dangerous levels of car emissions. Sunny weather with little rainfall or wind has triggered smog alerts in more than 60 municipalities here. Turin, where the Italian car manufacturer Fiat is based, has banned cars built before 2013, as have other northern cities and towns.
You're
Florence has also
2012?
banned
That's fucking
fully moving
ancient. Get that
vehicles.
piece of shit out of here.
ABC News, Rome.
Ontario's Auditor General will examine the costs associated with the provincial government's decision to cancel an Eastern Ontario wind farm. Environment Minister Jeff Urick revoked the Nation Rise wind farm project's approval late last year, citing concerns about the bat population. The NDP says it is concerned the cancellation could cost taxpayers hundreds of millions of dollars. Given
Somehow
the
I
recent
think that's
revelation that the
horseshit.
province is spending $231
All of a
million
sudden they
to
give a
cancel
fuck
more
about
than
bats.
750 renewable energy contracts.
Bats?
Auditor
The fuck are
General
you
Bonnie
talking
Lysyk
about?
responded this week to say her annual audit of the province's financial statements will include examining those costs. Coming up in 60 seconds, traffic and your extended forecast. 680 News Time, 6:50.
Happy 2020, Sun and Savings worshippers. This year, resolve to vacation better.
There was
by
a
booking
10
an
megawatt
all-inclusive vacation
transmission
during
line they were
Sunwing's
supposed to
$1
build,
million beach blowout sale.
partially to
Millions of dollars in
facilitate
savings at
hooking up all these new wind
top-rated
projects.
resorts
This
and
was years ago.
award-winning
They
service
fucking
every step
canceled
of the
that.
way. There's
They
never
cancel
been a
all
better
sorts of
time to
projects.
vacation better. Don't blow your chance to enjoy unbeatable blowout savings. Book by January 10th
Most
with your travel
projects,
agent.
people work on them for years to get all the way to like the first shovel, and they say, "Wait,
Yeah, well, it is minus 17,700.
no."
No way, that's right.
Says right here, get 25% off MSRP for
Well, by then they spent $1 billion.
$17,700 in total discounts on select Ram 1500 classic models. Plus, we make
I don't
no
like
payments
this
for 90
Eglinton
days.
LRT thing because they paid $1 billion cancellation fee for the Eglinton West subway
I'll grab
line.
my coat.
I can't believe
They dug it all out and they filled it back in for $1 billion fee, the cancellation fee. I forget what the project cost.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones brought to you by Viva Next up in Chopper 680 Jordan Kerr.
I'll update the 401 in just a moment, but I just want to mention once again Highway 7 at Yonge. Eastbound Highway 7 at Yonge, 2 right lanes remain blocked for crash cleanup. It looks like they're moving over into the right lane right now. So again, an update here, eastbound Highway 7 at Yonge, the right lane blocked up, all because of crash cleanup. It's jammed from Bathurst, and unfortunately, if you're thinking of jumping off at Bathurst is backed up from north of Highway 7 up to Rutherford and Carville. That's all because of traffic light issues there. So that whole area, a total mess because of these 2 issues. Now, the 401, we have a new issue. Well, we had a new issue. It's already gone. Westbound 401 approaching the 400 in the Express. Problems just cleared away. It's slow from west to Kiel in the Express. Then delays approaching here, Ontario, and west to Mavis. East 401 delays. Islington on and off to Victoria Park, the Express, and through Kennedy in the Collectors. From the 680 Traffic Center, Kyle Hawking. We have a new problem on the westbound 403. Again, west to the 410 in the Collectors. Looks like a lane blocked with an issue. It's heavy as you come off the 410 and the 401 in the collector lanes, and right through to this problem right at the Matheson overpass. And it's right where it is, so we're seeing a jam up here as you come off the 410 and 401 into those collector lanes. Now, if you're traveling the 410 northbound, so heading the other way, northbound 410 just north of the 407, still 3 left lanes blocked with a collision, jammed up now from Derry to north of the 407. And then beyond that point, you're through the worst of it, but it does still slow a little bit approaching Clark to Williams Parkway with residual volume. 400 northbound improving quickly, busy north of Shepherd up to about Langstaff, and then again, you're through the worst of it. It'll be a bit slow as you travel up towards Major Mac, but once you pass Rutherford, or past Langstaff rather, you're in better shape. We've got volume on the 427 north from Rexdale to Finch, and the DVP northbound's busy north of Bayview Bloor up towards the 401. The Bus Rapid Way is now open in Newmarket on Yonge Street from Savage Sawmill Valley to Davis. The red lanes are for Viva vehicles only, so drive with care. Visit vivanext.com for information. Your next report at 7:01 with the extended forecast. Here's Denise Adriachi.
Well, we are expecting quite a bit of rain over the next couple of days. The showers, drizzly weather start overnight tonight, and then through the day on Friday, about 10 millimeters, very warm temperatures. Saturday is really impactful across the GTA and the province, with widespread statements in effect because of the heavy, unusual amounts of rain we're expecting, but then a change over to freezing precipitation as well. We could see about 5 to 15 millimeters of freezing rain, a couple of centimeters of ice accretion. So this is going to be pretty impactful, like I said, and it could be, we could be having power outages for a couple of days for some areas in province of Ontario. So we're keeping you updated on that. Temperatures are on the rise overnight tonight. It's -3 right now and mostly cloudy, but overnight your low is +1.
This extended forecast is brought to you by Scotia iTrade. Direct invest with Scotia iTrade. Get up to $1,500 cash and $6.99 pricing, or up to 500 free equity trades. Details at scotiaitrade.com/winter20.
Coming up at 7 o'clock, our Cormac McSweeney will join us with the latest from Ottawa, where Prime Minister Trudeau says the Ukraine International Airlines flight that crashed near Tehran on Wednesday was shot down by an Iranian surface missile.
680 News Time, 6:54.
Thanks for calling Reliance Home Comfort. It's Jeff.
I'm going to tell us that 100 times.
I keep hearing about
They make us wait about 12 to 24 hours for an upgrade.
Reverse osmosis is a form of water purification that can improve the taste and smell of tap water while helping to remove contaminants like lead. Our specialists can test your water and explain the benefits of reverse osmosis. And right now, you can get your own reverse osmosis purifier for a low monthly rate. So if you want better water at home, call Reliance. Conditions apply. See website for details.
When news breaks,
We've got you covered.
breaking news, traffic, and weather. This is 680 News.
Coming up in 60 seconds, we'll check in with Richard Southern at the 680 Business Center.
680 News Time, 6:55.
Hi, it's Ivanka Osmak. Normally, I'm a sports anchor for Sportsnet, but today I'm spreading the news about Sleep Country's Aquagel pillow. To be honest, I'd never even heard of a gel pillow before their sleep experts suggested I try it out, and I'm glad they did. The pillow is so comfortable. It's made with a water-based gel, so it's a super breathable alternative to memory foam that cradles your neck and keeps you cool. I've always been a little picky about my pillow, but that was totally before I went to Sleep Country. Their sleep experts are sleep obsessed. It was amazing to see all the options they could recommend based on just a few things I told them about my sleeping habits. So really, no matter how you sleep, I'm sure they'll be able to recommend a great pillow to you. Plus, right now, when you buy one Aquagel pillow, you get a second Aquagel pillow free. Get matched to your perfect pillow at Sleep Country or order online at sleepcountry.ca today. Sleep Country, all for sleep.
6:56.
Time now for the business report. Here's Richard
So,
Southern.
Laura, we're getting a new $5 bill. The Bank of Canada says they're redesigning it, and they want, Canadians' input on who should be on it.
Yeah.
And I tweeted this out, and people have been responding to me, and some of the top suggestions are
Absolutely.
Gordie Howe,
Okay.
a sports star, Peter Mansbridge, some people said.
Okay,
You
might
said
be a
John
little too soon
King.
for that
The
one.
fuck?
He's a legend.
Why
Still,
is this
still,
shit
of course,
freezing up?
kicking it out. Terry Fox.
This is why I don't put too much effort into
Yeah,
these
I
two,
also,
right?
if I can put a little side one in there, I wouldn't mind spending a Richard Southern once in
Hey.
a while.
But shouldn't I be on the Hyundai? Should I be on the $100 one?
Yeah, you are elite, my friend.
They say we're moving towards a cashless society, and if they saw my mug on it, we would soon enough have a cashless society. But yes, indeed, Bank of Canada, Laura says, they want Canadians to nominate anyone that they think is a historic Canadian that they deserve to be on that new $5 bill. Well, consultations will kick off soon. As it stands now, Sir Wilfrid Laurier is on the front of the file. He's Canada's first francophone prime minister, but he's going to be on the outset with a Speaking of Canada's currency, some experts think it's going to appreciate quickly. Capital Economics predicting the loonie will reach 79 cents US by the end of this year and hit 82 cents US next year. It says a stabilizing global growth picture, better energy sector performance, and an easing of trade woes will boost the Canuck buck. Today, the Canadian dollar down a tad to 76.55 cents US. You're looking to buy $1 US, it'll cost you about $1.31 Canadian before all the service charges. Good news for stocks. Today, TSX up 67 points to 17,235, a record there. The Dow up 211 to 28,956. Should have bought Apple stock. How many years have we been saying that? Apple notching another record high today, about $309 per share. S&P up 21 points. NASDAQ up 74. Down goes the price of gold to $1,554. This is 680 News.
Does advertising with 680 News work? Well, things seem to be flowing well for Stan Cleaning from Roto-Rooter Plumbing and Drain Service.
Things are going great. We've been so successful with our plumbing and drain part of the business, advertising on 680 News. We thought we'd advertise our new flood and sewer cleanup and restoration business.
And how is that working?
The phone's been ringing, and we've seen a tremendous increase in our sales.
Speaking of sales, how do you like working with your account manager at 680 News?
He's helped us out in every avenue of the business. I should almost bring him on as an employee.
And how about all the writers and producers?
It's always difficult to get the message out to the public. The creative teams helped us out in many ways and helped us get to where we are today.
Well, it can't be easy to stay on top in today's competitive market.
Well, there's always competition, but we try to stay one step above them. The new advertising is working great, and we continue to be number one and the number two business. 680 News has really helped us. We are definitely flushed with success.
Unclog your bottom line and clean up the
this is all
competition
new
with
from the
680
last
News.
time I was
Call
listening.
680 News Advertising.
No, I knew there was going to be something more.
That's 416-935-NEWS.
Be the
There's like 5 different things, right? There was going to be something more and something more, and I think we're culminating
Taking a
now.
look at some regional weather conditions in
Everyone's
Milton,
waiting on Justin Trudeau to decide what to do. Fuck him. We need to go in there and shoot somebody.
-4 degrees. Guelph, mostly cloudy, -5.
Shut down a plane full of our people? Are you fucking kidding?
-7. This is CFTR 680.
Canada's like the only country to ever infiltrate Iran in the first place. They don't talk about that.
And weather. This is 680 News, Toronto. It's Thursday, January 9th. Good evening.
By the
I'm
way,
Scott Burnett.
this dumbass on his way out in the fucking US just managed to piss off the Canadians. How do you piss off the Canadians?
Shot down the plane that crashed in Iran, killing 63 Canadians. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says it may have been unintentional.
And vigil in North York for the victims of the plane crash. Anger mixes with anguish.
That's why I'm coming, to try to help myself to get through that.
The moment the flight was doomed, footage has been released showing a missile hitting the Ukrainian airliner moments before it crashed.
The Maple Leafs go outdoors for practice. The Blue Jays avoid arbitration with a brain injury as the Raptors have the full day off. Sports at 15.
Be careful what you post online. Airbnb will be digging through your internet history if you're trying to rent from them. TSX, down, NASDAQ. Oh, close the records. Business at 26.
680 News Time, 7:01.
Traffic and weather together on the one.
The people did that anyway.
This report brought to you
But
by
as soon as you presented it, seemed to be a real name. They went straight to fucking Facebook and Google.
Just west of the 410 in the collector lanes. Not sure which lane is blocked. Our cameras aren't working in this area, but if you're on the westbound 403, a jam up from just about the 410 in the collectors to west of it, right by Matheson is where this problem is in the collector lanes. So if you're coming off of the 401 or the 410 heading onto the 403 in the collectors, you're going to deal with this collision. We also had a problem on the 410 northbound, north of the 407. That issue's cleared away. Volume getting back up to speed quickly. So it is a bit slow through the 407, and then you're past the worst of it. Northbound 427, much better shape than it was a short time ago when we had a collision. That cleared by the 407, so the only volume we have is from north of Rexdale up towards Finch. Even the 400 northbound looks to be in pretty good shape right now with no major delays. DVP northbound still backed up out of downtown Don Mills to York Mills, and then a 404 delay approaching the 407 to north of 16th Avenue. It's busy on the westbound Gardner as well now from Rogers Center to west of Strawn, and if you're on the west QEW, just busy by the Ford plant, and that's all. 401 dealing with volume westbound in one spot into Mississauga, here Ontario and the collectors to west of Mavis. Eastbound 401 breaking up. Delays begin east of the 400 now, alternately express and collectors to Leslie. Then from the DVP to Victoria Park Express and Victoria Park to Kennedy collectors. We now have the Erin Gate ramp. The ramp from the South 427 to Erin Gate closed, and the Erin Gate ramp to the southbound 427 also shut down for collision cleanup. Tim and Sid are also on the radio. Listen live weekday afternoons from 5 to 7 on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Your next report at 7:11, and with the forecast, here's Denise Andriacci.
Varying amounts of sun and cloud today, a bitter wind chill for most of the day today, but temperatures are on the rise ahead of this big storm system that's going to really wreak some havoc over the weekend. Overnight, a chance of showers and temperatures just above the freezing mark. Your overnight low is +1.
Right now downtown, it is mostly cloudy and -1. At Pearson, mostly cloudy, -3 degrees, feeling closer to -8. 680 News Time, 7:03.
Calling it shocking news for Canadians and families already grieving for those lost in yesterday's plane crash in Iran. The Prime Minister addressing the country today, saying new intel points to an Iranian surface-to-air missile being responsible for downing that aircraft, claiming the lives of everyone on board, including at least 63 Canadians.
The Transportation Safety Board says it has accepted an invitation from Iran and is now making arrangements to travel to the crash site. 680's Parliament Hill reporter Cormac McSweeney joins us with the latest from Justin Trudeau.
With officials and advisors at his side, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau revealed the troubling details, saying intelligence and evidence suggest a surface-to-air missile from Iran shot down the Ukrainian Airlines flight. Trudeau stresses the need for a thorough and credible investigation.
That means closure, transparency, accountability, and justice. And this government will not rest until we get that.
His comments come after U.S. intelligence officials say it's highly likely anti-aircraft missiles brought down the plane inadvertently, something echoed by President Donald Trump.
Somebody could have made a mistake.
The Prime Minister says it may have been unintentional, but he also won't rule out it could be an act of war. Trudeau sidestepped a question about whether the U.S. should share some blame here, since their assassination of an Iranian general sparked this whole conflict. He simply says, we need answers.
To allow us to draw conclusions and reflections.
What would they do?
Canadian consular officials and investigators are en route to Iran. However, the Iranian government has not yet approved their entry into the country. Cormac McSweeney, Parliament Hill.
JT, you gotta go gangster on them with this one.
Vigils being held in North York tonight to honor those who lost their lives in the crash. 680's Mark Douglas joins us live with more from Bell Asman Square. Mark.
Well, Scott, it was already going to be an evening of grief, but with the news that the plane was almost certainly shot down, anger and politics also came up to the surface.
Oh, yeah, Toronto's good for politics.
And North York is the site for two vigils this evening to
You can
honor
name
the
a
victims of the
politician,
crash.
somebody here, somewhere in the world, somebody here who has an
Vanessa
opinion on
here
that
came
face.
to grieve for her friends who lost loved ones in the plane crash.
Our friend, that is the girl is Valerie, and my friend, our friend is losing her life too.
Does coming out to an event like this help you with healing and with closure?
That's why I'm coming, to try to help myself to get through that big tragedy that happened for Iranian people. Yes. God bless everybody.
But perhaps 10-year-old Sina was the best one to sum up the feeling in this crowd.
I wish that they never went on the plane so they couldn't die.
A few hundred people stood out here in the cold wind, some holding signs, some holding candles. A second indoor vigil was held right beside this one inside the North York Civic Centre beside Mel Lastman Square. That vigil was organized by the Iranian Canadian Congress, a group with some very different politics than the co-organizers of this outdoor vigil. Live in Mel Lastman Square, I'm Mark Douglas.
And dramatic video has now surfaced online showing the moment the doomed Ukrainian Airlines flight is hit by the missile. 680's Stuart McGinn joins us live with more. Stuart.
Yeah, Laura, it ends in a fiery, deadly crash, but begins with this disturbing video and sound of the missile actually striking the aircraft. Further footage confirms the plane was able to carry on and even turn around and try to land at the nearest airport, but that attempt, of course, unsuccessful. The plane can be seen falling to the ground in a fiery heap, showing us the moment a tragedy so far away hit us so close to home. The CNN's Fred Flightkin says Iranian officials are pushing this message, casting doubt on this new footage tonight.
If the plane had been hit by a missile, it would go down immediately, just fall from the sky, and then they wouldn't attempt, or the pilot wouldn't have been able to attempt to fly back to Imam Khomeini Airport.
Further reports, though, go the other way. The U.S. military saying they actually saw Iranian radar signals lock onto the jetliner moments before it was shot down. Reporting live, Stuart McGinn, 680 News.
They saw
Arizona
the
Radio
radar
680 News at
signals.
7:07. The province's public elementary teachers are stepping up job action. Here's 680's Lucas Castelletto.
If no deal is reached during contract talks next Friday, then the union will launch rotating strikes. Union boss Sam Hammond says in 6 months of negotiations, the Ford government's education minister has given his negotiators no new mandate to discuss anything other than cuts, which has led to negligible progress on the real issues.
They still have a $150 million demand on the table that we find and cut from publicly funded elementary education in this province. That's shameful.
As part of ETFO's updated work to rule, teachers won't arrive to work earlier than 30 minutes before the start of classes and will leave within 15 minutes at the end of each day. I'm Lucas Castelletto.
And talks have broken down between the province and the union representing Ontario Catholic teachers. Both sides returned to the bargaining table earlier today, but things fell apart quickly. OECTA blames government inaction. Education Minister Stephen Lecce says he wants the union to stay at the table and reach a deal that provides stability for students. The union says it is going ahead with plans to start an administrative work to rule campaign on Monday.
The royal family scrambling to contain the fallout from Prince Harry's surprise announcement that he plans to step back from his royal duties.
After Harry and Meghan's bombshell announcement, followed by a rebuke from the Queen, Buckingham Palace issued a new statement saying that courtiers were being instructed to resolve the issue and find a workable solution. Sources told ABC News Harry and Meghan did not share their statement with the Queen and were asked not to make any announcement at this time. Julia McFarland, ABC News at the Foreign Desk in London.
Coming up in 30 seconds, we'll check on the price of the pumps.
You're gonna work at Starbucks or something? Like, what the fuck is this financial independence? Where the fuck's you can't even run in financially
Do
independent?
socks and sandals ever go together? Glad you agree, because our blow-off winter sale on sun vacations is going to blow your socks off.
They'll come to Canada. They end up living in the west end of Toronto with me. Not with me, but nearby. The Royals next door.
From Sell-On Vacations. So don't get cold feet. Book now for savings that'll blow your socks off. Visit one of our 6 stores in the GTA.
Now the 680 News gas price update and predicting the price at the pumps is going to drop 3 cents at midnight, down to $1.15.9 a liter.
680 News Time, 7:10.
On January 12th, the Today Showstopper at TSC will be the Vitamix 7500 low-profile blender with an additional dry container for grains, nuts, and other whole foods, plus a flip-top smoothie bowl and recipe book. With its high-performance power and space-saving design, it makes short work of hearty soups and perfect purees in a large 64-ounce container. Watch for this exclusive bundle on January 12th when it's the Today Showstopper. Shop tsc.ca. Today's shopping choice.
License 10349. It's a slap in the face. Your bank refused your mortgage. Don't get mad. Call Northwood Mortgage. Northwood Mortgage takes a closer look at your financial picture, property equity, past record, the promise of performance, and more. Northwood Mortgage does everything they can to approve the mortgage you need. That's their business. Northwood Mortgage. Visit NorthwoodMortgage.com.
We're working harder for you. 680 News. News Time 7:11.
Traffic and weather together on the 1-2 Kyle Hawking.
This report brought to you by 407 ETR. As suspected and as confirmed now by the MTO, we do have problems on the westbound 403, just west of the 410 in the collectors, right by the Matheson overpass. The left lane is blocked with a crash, so crews are here. And it's actually improving in terms of the volume in the last minute or two. It is still seeing a minor delay through this area, but not nearly as heavy as it was. I suspect there was more than one lane blocked at one point. Now it's just that one left lane on the west 403 west of the 410 collectors. The westbound Gardner, if you're traveling out of downtown, problem-free, but still a bit busy west of Spadina to west of Strawn. And the only delay on the west QEW is by the Ford plant from Ford Drive to Trafalgar. North Don Valley Parkway backed up north of Don Mills to York Mills, and on the 404 delays Highway 7 now to north of 16th Avenue. Busy on the eastbound 401, still for quite a stretch. East of the 400, alternately express and collectors to Leslie. And then volume delays into Scarborough as well. From the DVP to Victoria Park Express and Victoria Park to Kennedy collectors. Then you're fine as you head further east into the Durham region. Westbound 401, not bad. I'm prepared to say it's pretty well up to speed across the city. There are also no reported problems. And if you're traveling into downtown right now, South 404 just bunches up at the 401 ramps. DVP southbound's fine. Eastbound Gardner only delays into the long-term construction zone about Jarvis to Cherry. 407 ETR saves drivers 30 million hours of time each year, giving you more time for the things that matter most to you. Visit 407etr.com. Your next report at 7:21, and with the forecast, here's Denise Andriacci.
Chance of showers and drizzly weather beginning through the overnight as temperatures climb ahead of the active weather we're expecting this weekend. An unusual mild air. Friday's high near 8 degrees. Periods of rain and drizzle through the day, up to 10 millimeters possible. Temperatures hold near 8 for Friday night, with the rain intensifying overnight through the day Saturday near +6. Your overnight low tonight, +1.
And right now downtown, it's mostly cloudy and -1. Mostly cloudy and -2 degrees at Pearson, feeling closer to -7. 680 News Time, 7:13.
Facebook is rejecting limits on political advertising ahead of the 2020 U.S. election, despite widespread calls for change.
Facebook said it is not deaf to criticism of the false claims and disinformation allowed to proliferate on the site, but neither is Facebook willing to limit political advertising the way other social media companies have. Instead, Facebook announced changes meant to give users more control over the ads they see and how many they see. Politicians, though, are still free to pay for posts that make false or misleading claims, and political parties are still free to send targeted messages to narrow audiences. Twitter banned all ads about candidates and hot-button issues. Google limited targeting tools. Aaron Katursky, ABC News, New York.
680 News Time, 7:14.
You know what's
So the
crazy?
politicians
Not
actually pay
using
for
smarter
advertising.
tools to manage your small
You're doing this
business.
shit
You
wrong.
work too
You gotta
hard to
do
work
that.
this hard. Collecting receipts? Is this the 80s?
QuickBooks gives you a smarter set of business tools that do all the hard work for you. You may work for yourself, but you don't have to go at it alone.
It's easier than rewinding a VHS before returning it.
You earned it. We're here to make sure you get it. And for a limited time, save 70% when you buy Intuit QuickBooks. QuickBooks, backing you. Visit QuickBooks.ca for full offer details.
Maybe you don't know where to start. Maybe tomorrow's goals feel so far away. What if we told you that maybe you're closer than you think? That a simple conversation can spark something amazing. Your savings and investments can stand for so much more when they don't stand still. And Scotiabank can help every step of the way. Energize your investing. You're richer than you think. Scotiabank.
This is All News Radio, 680 News.
Partly cloudy, -1, feeling like -7 in downtown Toronto. Good evening from the 680 News broadcast center. I'm Scott Burnett.
And I'm Laura Carney. Here are the top stories this hour.
The Transportation Safety Board says it has accepted an invitation from Iran and is now making arrangements to travel to the site of yesterday's plane crash that claimed the lives of 63 Canadians. Trudeau discussing new intel that points to an Iranian surface-to-air
I don't think they can
responsible for
legally
bringing
stop
down
us
the
from
plane.
going there and say we're here to collect our feet. I don't think they can stop us.
Lost in that crash.
I don't think they'd want to be seen stopping us.
Lastman Square, where the mayor is. And Ontario's public elementary school teachers are elevating job action beginning on Monday.
They're investigating
They're
fucking
rotating
themselves.
strikes starting January 20th, unless the Ford government can bring something new to the table. Time for 680 Sports. For that, we go to Sports at 5.
This is going to be one big pile of shit. This whole story is going to be one big pile of shit. It's not going to turn out good for fucking
Maple
anybody.
Leafs head coach Sheldon Keefe is happy with how Houston
team is playing.
Yeah, we have gotten some luck along the way. That plays a role for sure, but the guys have bought in and they've had a lot of fun doing it.
Maple Leafs practiced outdoors today at Nathan Phillips Square. They'll return to action on Sunday when they visit the Florida Panthers. 11 games in the NHL tonight, including Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers in Montreal. And right now that one is scoreless, just a few minutes into the first period. Elsewhere, the Bruins and Jets scoreless in the first. It's Panthers leading the Canucks 2-0 already as they cross the 5-minute mark of the first period. Happening now, Canada and Serbia squaring off in the quarterfinals at the ATP Cup. And in match number 1 right now, it is Dusan Lajovic with the 1-set lead on Felix Auger-Aliassime, who just won the first game of the second set. Still to come, Denis Shapovalov will take on Novak Djokovic. John Heyman of MLB Network reporting that the Blue Jays have avoided arbitration with Brandon Drury, signing him to a 1-year deal worth just over $2 million. And according to reports, the Cardinals and Rays are set to pull off a blockbuster trade, with each team sending 3 pieces to the other in the deal. One player that we know is moving is pitching prospect Matt Liberatore, who goes from Tampa Bay to St. Louis. Sports at 15 and 45, past every hour or anytime on the home of Tim and Sid, now on TV and radio. Sportsnet 590 The Fan.
680 News Time, 7:17.
Mom, Dad, come outside. There's a camera crew in our driveway holding a giant check for $1 million.
So do we have to? It's kind of cold out. I'll forget.
Not everything is worth rushing out of bed for this new year, but Sleep Country's Boxing Week sale is. Plus, start the year off right with incredible prices on duvets, pillows, sheets, and more. And get a Hot Buy Queen mattress with built-in cooling gel technology, just $369. But hurry in store or online. It all ends Tuesday. Sleep Country, all for sleep.
All right, guys, it's been a blast, but I gotta head out. Hey, Julie, do you need a ride?
Thanks, John, but there's a reason I'm not driving, and I don't think you should be either.
Yeah, if she wanted to ride with someone who'd been drinking, she'd drive herself.
John, my sister's coming to get me. I'll drop you off.
When a drinking driver crashes, passengers in the vehicle share the same fate. In a 2010 poll, more than 85% of Canadians said they don't ride with a drinking driver. Speak your mind. ChangeTheConversation.ca.
680 News Time, 7:18. The Leafs took part in their annual practice down at Nathan Phillips Square. Today, 680's Momin Qureshi was there.
Some got here early, some came with signs. Almost everyone came wearing blue and white. Vanessa did all those things and more.
Yeah, we got here at 9 in the morning, made sure to get right in the front where they could see us.
So you earned it.
We earned it. I wanted a puck and a picture, and I got a puck from Austin Matthews, so I'm really happy.
On a picture of Leaf fans packing in around the rink over the noon hour to watch their favorite team practice. The players loving it, and so did the coach, Sheldon Keefe.
It's a different feel. The puck feels different, sounds different, the skates sound different. I'm happy to be a part of it.
At Nathan Phillips Square, I'm Momin Qureshi.
The U.S. House of Representatives expected or voted on whether or not President Donald Trump had the ability to take military action against Iran.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi describes last week's draft and disproportionate. She made the comment in a statement announcing the vote on a war powers resolution, despite solid Republican opposition. Senator Tim Kaine is controlled Lee and Rand Paul of Kentucky have indicated they're at least willing to listen and may even co-sponsor a resolution. Ben Thomas, Washington.
And that vote passed earlier this afternoon, 224 to 194. Coming up in 60 seconds, traffic in your extended forecast.
680 News Time, 7:20.
When 680 News listeners are on the road, they like to save time and stay safe. And that's why 407 ETR chooses 680 News to connect with drivers.
Hi, my name is Kevin Tack, and I am the Vice President of Communications and Marketing at 407 ETR, the toll road that gets people where they need to be on time.
Why advertise on 680 News specifically?
The programming of the station that occurs every hour of the day is what drives people to listen to the station, and also hear news about breaking traffic and weather. And we know that's an important place for drivers to go. We know that if we put our message there, it's going to be heard.
407 ETR has been on 680 News for many years. You obviously have a long-term marketing strategy.
And new drivers join the GTA every year. And as new audiences come on board, they're going to 680 News for their information, and we want to be a part of that. It often reminds me of the way the highway functions: fast, safe, and reliable.
Get 680 News working for you. Call 416-935-NEWS.
680 News Time, 7:21.
Traffic and weather together on the ones. Kyle Hawking.
This report brought to you by TSC. Problems on the westbound 403 west to the 410 collectors have now cleared. No delay left in that area. Only problem on the highways right now is affecting the southbound 427 and its ramp issue. Southbound 427 ramp to Aaron Gate is closed with a collision cleanup, and the Aaron Gate ramp to the southbound 427 is also shut down. If you're familiar with this ramp, both the ramp off and the ramp coming on sort of merge together just off the highway to become one ramp, and it's Aaron Gate Drive that becomes that ramp both coming off and going on to the highway. So that's why they've closed both. The collision was on the highway, moved off onto Aaron Gate Drive itself. So with the crash being cleaned up on Aaron Gate Drive, they've closed both ramps. The one South 427 ramp to Aaron Gate and Aaron Gate ramp to the South 427, all for this crash cleanup. If you're traveling to 401, no delays westbound. Eastbound, you'll find volume approaching the Allen, alternately Express and Collectors to Leslie. Still DVP to Victoria Park Express and Victoria Park to Kennedy Collectors. Northbound Don Valley is still slow approaching Eglinton to York Mills with a 404 delay waiting you. Highway 7 to north of 16th Avenue. And you'll find the westbound Gardner up to speed now, same with the eastbound Gardner. And if you're on the QEW, only delay is westbound by the Ford plant, and it's very minor. We had a collision off the highways on Highway 7 at Young. Eastbound lanes now cleared of that collisions, and it's up to speed through there. You may still find traffic lights malfunctioning on Bathurst and Rutherford at that intersection. Saying no to pain this year with Dr. Ho's Pain Therapy Pro Bundle. Shop today at TSC and save 50%. Shop tsc.ca, today's shopping choice. Your next report at 7:31 with the extended forecast. Here's Denise Andriacci.
Chance of showers through the overnight tonight as temperatures climb. Highs near 8 degrees for Friday. Rain and drizzle up to 10 millimeters expected. Intense rain and very strong winds for Saturday. Highs near 6 degrees, changing over to some freezing precipitation Saturday night. Lows near +1. And a chance of flurries near 2 degrees for Sunday. Overnight tonight, +1.
And right now downtown it's cloudy and -1, mostly cloudy and -2 at Pearson.
Coming up at 7:30, a video surfacing online showing the moment a Ukrainian Airlines flight was struck by an Iranian anti-aircraft missile. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau promising Canadians his government will be working closely with investigators to find answers. And this as vigils for 63 Canadians lost in that crash are taking place this evening in North York. Details on these stories and much more straight ahead.
680 News Time, 7:24.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate online at carsforkids.ca. That's cars with a K. Pickup is quick and easy. You'll benefit a child and get a maximum tax credit.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Also accepting boats, motorcycles, RVs, and truck donations.
At 680 News, we know weather.
And we guarantee it.
If we're off by more than 3 degrees, we'll announce a lucky winner of our growing gas jackpot.
Now, get more chances to win each month and vacation better with Sunwing.
Enter in January for your chance to win an all-inclusive vacation for 2 at the Rio Palace, Cabo San Lucas in Mexico.
Enjoy beautiful coastal views, multiple swim-up bars, and access to themed parties at the neighboring Rio Resort.
Enter the 680 News weather guarantee with Sunwing
at Rio Hotels and Resorts
at 680news.com.
This new segment brought to you by Butler Mortgage. Get ready for the first weekend subway closure of 2020. There will be no service on Saturday and Sunday on the Young University Spadina line between Shepherd and St. Clair stations. As always, shuttle buses will be running. And budget airline Swoop is adding flights to 3 Atlantic Canadian cities from Hamilton this summer. Swoop's new routes to St. John's, Moncton, and Charlottetown will begin running late June and late October. The expansion marks parent company WestJet's latest move to challenge Air Canada's dominance in the Maritimes. Coming up in 60 seconds, the business report with Richard Southern, 680 News Time, 7:45.
Every day in Canada, 3,000 mortgages renew. Mortgage rates are falling. Important announcement. If your mortgage renews in the next 90 days, contact butlermortgage.ca. 2.38%, 5-year fixed rate at renewal. No gimmicks, no fees. It's the same mortgage as your bank. If you qualify, you save thousands. 2.38%, 5-year fixed mortgage rate at butlermortgage.ca.
License number 12118. High ratio fixed rate transfers. APR of 2.39%.
Jenny Cooper, who's dead.
Death is her living,
I'm just trying to put a picture together of how he died.
and she won't rest until she uncovers the truth.
You know, it is my mission as coroner to speak for the dead so that I can protect the living.
Don't miss the hit drama series, Coroner. New episode, Monday at 9 on CBC.
City News Time, 7:26.
Now the business report, Richard Seven.
Good evening. Here's a real interesting one. If you've ever been rejected from booking an Airbnb rental, it may be because the app's artificial intelligence determined that you're, a psychopath? Yes, Airbnb has software designed to dig through people's internet posts and social media activity to detect any illegal activity and to predict the behavior of the person looking to rent a house or an apartment. The software will flag people it thinks show signs of narcissism or psychopathy or other negative traits. This is according to reporting by the Evening Standard and Business Insider. Airbnb confirms it owns the patent to this, but says it isn't currently implementing all of the software's screening methods. Airbnb, though, has been attempting to ensure the safety of its guests following some high-profile incidents in its rentals. Question for you. Have you ever forgotten something behind in a hotel room? I bet you have. Maybe your glasses or something like that. Probably not an alpaca. Travelodge has released some of the strangest items left behind in its 571 hotels in 2019. Yes, a pair of live alpacas was one of them. Gingerbread Village was another. An Aston Martin car left behind by guests, as was a pair of 6-foot palm trees. Forget your head if it wasn't attached to your neck. On the market, the record breaker TSX up 67 points, all-time high finish here at 17,235. Cannabis stocks were smoking today. Aurora up 6.6% at $2.42. The Dow at a record as well, up 211 to 28,956. S&P up 21, Nasdaq up 74. Gold to $1,553, and the loonie at 76.6 cents US. This is 680 News.
We're not trying to fuck all right.
Hey, Tim. Yes, it. So the radio show we're doing, we're still talking about sports, of course. Sure. And the question though, not a big deal or anything. Since we're on the radio, I assume clothing is optional?
You do know we're still on TV, right?
So that's a yes?
TMNC is serious about sports and fully clothed. Weekdays at 5 p.m. Watch on Sportsnet and listen on Sportsnet 590 The Fan through the Sportsnet app.
I'm here with Bill Coy of Coy Brothers, and we're getting tips on how to use a snow shovel.
Firmly grip your shovel.
Okay, then?
And then toss it.
What?
A shovel's useless compared to a Toro snowblower like the 38757. Its electric start, self-propelled, and the Aim Snow on the Go feature allows you to change the chute direction without stopping. It throws snow 40 feet.
That's about how far you threw my shovel, which I don't need because I'm getting a Toro from Coy Brothers.
KOOYBROS.com.
It's time for the 680 News Business Travelers Forecast, brought to you by Walmart. Now at Walmart, save $5 on a 6.2-liter jug of Arm & Hammer laundry detergent. Now $8.97. That's why grocery bills are lower at Walmart.
Montreal tomorrow, overcast 3 degrees. In Chicago, light rain 4. New York City, mostly cloudy at 9. It's 7:30.
Number 1 for news in Toronto. This is 680 News.
Good evening. This is Thursday, January 9th. I'm Christine Ritchie.
And I'm Asher Roth. Here's what's making news right now. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says there is evidence to suggest an Iranian missile shot down the Ukrainian Airlines flight that crashed in Iran, killing 63 Canadians.
News that the plane was almost certainly shot down is being felt at vigils in North York.
Thank you, Trudeau, for saying the truth.
2 vigils honor the local Iranian Canadians killed in the crash.
Heart-stopping videos show the very moment the Ukrainian flight was hit by missiles over Tehran, now leading to even more questions.
Thousands of die-hard Leaf fans get a real thrill.
Oh, yeah. I mean, who isn't enjoying this?
Watching the team practice outdoors at Nathan Phillips Square.
The Maple Leafs get in an outdoor practice. Canada facing Serbia at the ATP Cup as the Philadelphia 76ers will be without Joel Embiid for the next couple of weeks. Sports at 45.
Record high close for the TSX and for Wall Street. And Harry and Meghan want to become financially independent. We're looking at how much money they already have and the job many Canadians want to see them get. In business at 56.
Tim Hortons drives through.
680 news time, 7:31.
What's that person in the
And weather
fucking
together on the ones. Here's Kyle Hawkins.
cashier?
And this report brought to you by Mark Feldstein and Associates. I was just looking at this collision on Aaron Gate Drive, just off the 427. We have a collision that has taken place on Aaron Gate, and the way the ramps are set up, it's kind of tricky for them to keep the ramps open while also tend to this collision. If you're familiar with the area, you know exactly what I mean. So they've closed the southbound 427 ramp to Aaron Gate, and also the Aaron Gate ramp to the southbound 427, both closed while crews work on cleaning up this collision. As far as delays in the area, not much, but of course, just note the restricted access there. If you're traveling the DVP northbound, one of our busy routes right now, it's slow approaching Eglinton up to York Mills. Westbound Gardner out of downtown's not bad. And if you're heading into downtown, eastbound Gardner and south DVP both look to be in good shape. Really, only other heavy volume is along the eastbound 401. Delays still from about the Allen Express and Collectors over to Leslie. We've got volume Victoria Park to Kennedy Collectors. As you travel the in-town roads, traffic spotter giving me a call about a collision in Vaughan at Major Mackenzie and Dufferin. Crash right in the middle of the intersection there. It looks heaviest east and westbound along Major Mac at the intersection. Not too bad north and southbound, but expect emergency crews and tow trucks on scene. For all your personal and corporate tax accounting needs, call Mark Feldstein and Associates, Chartered Professional Accountants. Call for your mobile now at Pound Tax or online at markfeldstein.ca. Your next report at 7:41, and with the forecast, here's Denise Andriacci.
Temperatures on the rise through the overnight tonight. Lows near +1. Chance of showers and drizzly weather after midnight. Really starting to see the unsettled conditions hold steady through the day tomorrow as we climb to highs near +8. Rain and drizzle and about 10 millimeters expected. Friday temperatures hold near 8 degrees even through overnight into Saturday. Your overnight low tonight near +1.
Right now downtown, it's partly cloudy, -1, feeling like -8 with the wind. And at Pearson Airport, similar conditions, -2 degrees, feeling like -7. 680 news time, 7:33.
Prime Minister Justin Trudeau confirms there is strong evidence to suggest the Ukraine Airlines flight that crashed in Iran on Wednesday was shot down by a missile. The Transportation Safety Board says it has accepted an invitation from Iran and is now making arrangements to travel to the crash site.
680's Parliament Hill reporter Cormac McSweeney joins us with the latest.
It's already a heartbreaking tragedy, but Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says the initial findings will add further shock to the nation.
The evidence indicates that the plane was shot down by an Iranian surface-to-air missile.
The Prime Minister won't reveal details about the evidence. He adds the strike may have actually been unintentional and stresses the need for a thorough and credible investigation.
The families of the victims and all Canadians want answers.
The Prime Minister's address came after U.S. intelligence officials said it was highly likely an anti-aircraft missile downed the plane, and President Donald Trump offered these comments from the Oval Office.
It was flying in a pretty rough neighborhood. Somebody could have made a mistake.
Trudeau sidestepped questions about whether the U.S. should share the blame because they assassinated the Iranian military commander, which sparked the whole conflict. Iran launched missile attacks on U.S. bases in Iraq shortly before the plane crash. Cormac McSweeney, Parliament Hill.
Meantime, hundreds of Torontonians have gathered at 2 vigils in North York to honor the victims of the crash. 680's Mark Douglas joins us live from one of the locations at Mel Lastman Square. Mark.
Christine, the grief was simply overwhelming for some of the people here.
So heartbreaking. It is really heartbreaking.
News that the plane was apparently shot down clearly affected the speeches and the mood at this outdoor vigil for the crash victims. One of the co-organizers of this vigil here at Mel Lastman Square is Salman Sima.
First and most, I would like to say my condolences to those families who lost their loved one. And second, I would like to thank you, Trudeau, for saying the truth.
Among the 300 or so people standing out in a bitterly cold winter wind, this woman held a candle and a mason jar to keep the flame alive in memory of someone she lost.
One of my friends, one of my best friends actually, was in that airplane. Yeah.
Does coming out to a vigil like this help you heal?
I'm trying, yeah. I don't know at the end, but yeah, still I'm here and
Yeah, I'm trying. We'll see.
The Mayor John Tory spoke at this first vigil, asking for the people of Toronto to support the families of the victims. The Iranian-Canadian Congress hosted a second vigil of their own indoors in the North York Civic Centre, right beside the first vigil. Reporting live from Mel Lastman Square, I'm Mark Douglas.
680 News Time, 7:36. We are getting a look at the actual moments when the Ukrainian Airlines plane was struck. 680 Stuart McGinn joins us live with more. Stuart.
Yeah, Asher, caught on video. This was the very moment it happened. That footage verified by the New York Times as exactly when the Ukrainian flight flying in Iranian airspace was hit. Further footage confirmed by CNN shows the plane turn around and head back to the airport while fiery pieces of debris can be seen coming off before it hits the ground in a large explosion. CNN's Richard Quest says with all this now coming to light, the digging for answers becomes even more frantic.
There's a much, much easier way to determine what took place. The Iranians can simply admit if it was their missile that brought down the plane.
One other question being posed, why was this Ukrainian flight even allowed to fly over Iran given the attack that took place in the country just hours before? The FAA had already banned any American flights from traveling through that airspace. Reporting live, Stuart McGinn, 680 News.
680 News Time at 7:37. Public elementary teachers are stepping up their job action, threatening rotating walkouts. 680's Lucas Castelletto tells us extracurriculars are also in trouble.
The more than 80,000 public elementary school teachers have been involved in an administrative work to rule since November. And as of this Monday, they're pulling the plug on extracurriculars and field trips. The union is planning to begin a full withdrawal of services on a rotating basis, much like what the public high school teachers have been doing for the past few weeks. Union boss Sam Hammond says he wants progress and soon.
Listen, what I hope is that we have a deal by January the 17th. That's my sincere wish. But we can't do that alone.
Contract talks are scheduled to be held next Friday. I'm Lucas Castelletto.
680 News Time, 7:38. It may only be a practice, but for many kids and fans, being able to catch the Maple Leafs for free and in the great outdoors is a dream come true. The Buds took to the rink at Nathan Phillips Square earlier today. 680's Momin Qureshi is there.
Shivering and bundled up with their finest Leafs toques, gloves, and sweaters, thousands of Leaf fans packed tightly around the rink here at Nathan Phillips Square for a chance to see their hockey heroes up close as the team held its annual outdoor practice.
It's amazing. Like, it's hard to get tickets, so it's amazing to be able to watch them for free. Oh, yeah. We've always been enjoying this. I think it's great to get everyone involved, get all the kids out to watch hockey and play a good game.
That's a very hockey-style comment you just gave me.
Yes, I know. I get it from my dad.
The team rode the subway to get here, which Captain John Tavares says was an interesting experience.
I haven't been on the subway in a little while, so it was good. Just everyone kind of being a little bit surprised with us kind of coming on.
At Nathan Phillips Square, I'm Momin Qureshi.
In 30 seconds, we'll take a look at gas prices.
680 News Time, 7:39.
Bodog.net wants to show you how to make a play this football season. When it feels like the whole country says no, you're asking why not. When everyone and their mother has the favorite, you're taking the underdog. When all of social media says, you got no chance, you say, I got this. When everyone says it can't be done, you're already planning to treat yourself. Don't miss a chance to make a play at Bodog.net, your source of free casino games, poker strategy, and live football odds.
Now, the 680 News gas price update. Enpro predicts the price will drop 3 cents at midnight to $1.15.9 a liter at most GTA stations. Coming up in a minute's time, we'll have traffic.
680 News Time, 7:40.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.ca/Canada. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
80% of employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. It's the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right. Free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.ca/Canada. That's ZipRecruiter.ca/CANADA. ZipRecruiter.ca/Canada.
680 News Time, 7:41.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Kyle Hawking.
This report brought to you by Seneca Niagara Resort and Casino. We still got this crash on Erin Gate Drive, just off the 427. And as a result, the southbound 427 ramp to Erin Gate is closed. And the Erin Gate ramp to the southbound 427 has all been shut down as part of this same collision cleanup. We have lots of emergency crews on scene here. So there's no access either south 427 to Erin Gate or Erin Gate to the southbound 427 just because of the way the ramp has been designed here. So you'll have to try to reroute yourself around that ramp closure. Not much of a delay in the area, but just note that restricted access. 427 elsewhere, just fine. In fact, the only really heavy spots are on the East 401 and North DVP. Neither I would consider extremely heavy, but there's some delays. East 401, east of the Allen Express and approaching Bayview Collectors to Leslie, and more volume Victoria Park to Kennedy in the Collectors. Northbound Don Valley just dragging a bit from Eglinton up to York Mills. That's pretty well in. I just spotted a construction spot eastbound on the Queensway at Park Lawn. We've got, looks like eastbound lanes down to a single lane because of maintenance going on. Big dump trucks on scene here. So eastbound Queensway slow from Grand over to Park Lawn as a result of the lane restrictions. More lane restrictions in Vaughan at Major Mackenzie and Dufferin. Looks like this crash in the intersection is mostly affecting east and westbound traffic on Major Mac at Dufferin. Looks quite heavy in both directions there. Seneca Niagara Resort and Casino features world-class entertainment, AAA 4-Diamond Luxury, over 2,500 slots, and 80 table games with complimentary drinks while playing. Your next report at 7:51, and with the forecast, here's Denise Andriacci.
Chance of showers and drizzly weather after midnight tonight. We are expecting a big push of warm, mild air Friday ahead of the active weather. About 10 millimeters possible tomorrow. More showery and drizzly weather. Highs near 8 degrees with the more steady, intense bands of rain expected Saturday. Highs near 6. Very windy conditions as well this weekend, and a change over to freezing rain near +1 for Saturday night. Overnight tonight, +1.
Right now downtown, it is -1 under a partly cloudy sky. Feels like -8 with the wind. And at Pearson Airport, similar conditions, currently -2, feeling like -7.
680 News Time, 7:43. The city of Toronto is bracing for a whole lot of rain. For some residents, it will mean a flooded basement. Locals are being told to make sure their eaves troughs and downspouts are clear of snow, ice, and other debris. During heavy rain, the sewers can become overloaded and back up into your house. The city has more tips to protect your home at toronto.ca. Coming up in health and lifestyle news at 7:48, Italy is fast becoming one of the most polluted places in Europe.
680 News Time, 7:44.
Julie? Hi, I'm Max.
Are you the pizza guy?
Me? No, I'm a professional dream coach. Say, how would your Friday night change if you won Friday's Lotto Max jackpot of an estimated $33 million?
I plan a little getaway.
Little?
Okay, a huge getaway. I'll travel the world learning dances like the samba, the can-can, ooh, even break dancing.